Welcome, everyone. My name is Kasia Piquet. I am a CEO and co-founder of Transatlantic Energy Venture. And today with me is my colleague, Wanda Book, who is a very accomplished lawyer, professional, also advises President of Poland on issues, matters, specifically how it's related to energy and other issues. I will let her speak about that in a second. But today, what I really would like to do is to talk about Canada-Poland business advantage, specifically as it comes to energy, obviously defense, we are sitting in Warsaw, Poland, and innovation. Now, I would like to begin with a little bit of personal note, because for me, this conversation sits on the intersection of my personal life. Now, I was born here in Warsaw, Poland. I'm proud graduate from Warsaw School of Economics. And my postgraduate studies, my MBA studies, brought me to Canada, where most recently I served as a deputy minister in one of the Canadian provincial governments. So I came to this conversation as someone who is deeply proud Polish Canadian. Someone whose life has been shaped by both countries. So being back here in Warsaw and having this conversation with you, Wanda, feels especially meaningful. It feels bigger than just simple coincidence and even to get to know you. And also, 2 days ago, I just arrived from Canada. A week ago, I was in Washington, D.C. 3 weeks ago, I was in Venezuela. And when you move through places like that, in such a short period of time, you really feel the pace of global change. And it's hard to really not pay attention to what's happening all over the world. We are living through a profound geopolitical reset. So what stuck with me, and I'm going to reflect a little bit because now I'm thinking how we grow up. What stuck with me when I was specifically in Venezuela, it really reminded me of the time of the post-communist Poland. The Poland I grew up in, the people were extremely warm. They are inspiring democratic leaders who really sacrificed their personal life story in the name of democracy. And their people hunger for dignity, opportunity, and better future. And it also reminded me of how far Poland has come. I'm so proud of that. And it's not only diplomatic transformation, but it's also a business transformation, even more so. So now I'm gonna turn to you, Wanda. Poland today is no longer simply a story of a successful transformation. It's increasingly a strategic partner in Europe, not a junior partner anymore.
No longer.
Please introduce yourself a little bit better and tell us what you think the world still underestimates about Poland, rise and its important place today in Europe.
Thank you very much, Kasia, for having me. I'm honored, and I'm very happy that you are here back in Poland after many years. I bet you see the difference at the first glance, basically. But so when it comes to me, I'm a lawyer by trainee. I served as a deputy minister for telecommunication infrastructure. Then for more than 4 years, I was a vice president of the biggest Polish energy utility, which is Polish Energy Group. And now I lead my legal company, which is also one of the biggest energy law firm. So I help business and investors navigate throughout the sectors that you mentioned, which is mostly energy, defense, and innovations. And at the same time, on the side of it, but it's very important part of my professional occupation. I am also an advisor to the President of Poland, mostly on the on the energy matters.
Well, I have a right person to talk to.
Yes, I believe you do. I hope we will reveal some interesting information to our listeners. To our listeners. Yes. So, as you said, throughout the years, in Poland, it has been a significant change. Poland has been always presented as a very successful transformational country, from communist country to, to the country that caught up with West in Europe. And it's real and it's remarkable, but I think it's already a little bit outdated. Because, we are much more than it nowadays. It's over 20 years when we joined the European Union. It was 2004. And throughout those 2 decades, we doubled our GDP per capita. Last year, our GDP growth was 3.6, which is well above average of other European countries.
Poland is leading in regards to growth.
Yes, that's true. We are the biggest economy in this part of Europe, and we are among 20 biggest economies in the world nowadays. And it has in early 90s we were poorer than Ukraine, and so the difference is, I believe, for you it's so visible, especially
It's actually extremely inspiring story, to be honest with you. I departed Poland in 1998. Every year I come back, it changes. And now looking back where I departed, where this country is here, it's a story of a true inspiration.
Yes.
It's changed, completely changed.
Yes, I'm also very proud of my country. I believe in my country, and I think it's only the beginning for us. But what I observe nowadays, it's that Poland represents also a very, very rational, very pragmatic voice in European Union. So, we are not very happy about the direction that whole Europe as a continent is going to. So, it's like, the whole story with the climate policy and the climate goals, and maybe
the industrialization. I'm gonna help you with that. We talked about this a little bit before.
That's true. So we represent the voice that is very rational. We are not an easy partner to European Union. Neither the previous government was, nor the current government is, which is also important, because we can see what we should do to. We know what we should do to stop, as you said, disindustrialize our continent and to lose our position, because we see that Europe is slowing down at least, but with the pace of China and other continents, we will be soon left behind. So we want to do our best to prevent Europe from doing so.
And I think we talk about a little bit, and 2 days ago, we are sitting today, it's June 23rd in Warsaw, and 2 days ago, or a day ago, the Prime Minister of UK resigned, and part of his policy was also reducing emission. But I think reducing emission at all cost, not taking into account cost of living, might cost citizens in the countries a bigger price to pay.
For me, it's not a surprise, because I thoroughly analyzed the situation across Europe, and I don't know if that's the right moment to dig into that, but if it's right, we can do this.
Of course.
We can do this. So, Poland has been presented recently mostly for people who support green transition as a blocker. But in fact, we are not the one who is blocking, but we are the one who is rationalizing. Why is that? Because we can see that with the pace that European Commission pledged to acquire, And for over 20 years of European climate policy, we lost our position, lost our share to general industrial production from 25% to 9%.
Oh my goodness. So we decreased the industrial production in Poland.
No, in Poland, actually, we went
so
into
that's
a positive.
European
That's
Union.
European Union.
But
in Poland, we went up, but
Okay.
as a whole, Europe lost the share.
Wow. So that's quite significant because this is more 2.5 times,
Yes,
pretty much decrease in industrial production.
Yes.
Interesting.
And at the same time, China has moved in the opposite direction. From 8%, they went above 28%.
Wow.
So
so they triple more than that.
Absolutely. And we did it because, Europe did it because we wanted to acquire our climate goals. So we reduced our emissions throughout last decades for over 35%. Well, maybe it's like a success, but at the same time, China has increased their emissions for over 320.
Yeah, China, in regards to emission, and I have to clarify, I was a deputy minister of environment. So yes, China's emissions profile, it's increasing still and quite significantly.
But the world is increasing, and we are doing, we are making a huge effort, also industrial effort, to lower emissivity of our industry, of our economy. And then we are losing our position in this economy, and Europe is responsible only for 6% of global emissions.
Oh, I know that, and you guess what?
So
Canada,
we're not gonna save a world with our such a huge effort.
Absolutely, and Canada, Canada's contribution to world emission is around 2%, if that. So yes, I understand the issues, and we are dealing with very similar issues, Wanda. And I'm very glad that Poland is being this rational voice.
Yes, absolutely, we are. We are pointing out that it's not the way to become world-leading continent, or at least the continent that matters. And we are warning very vocally that there is a huge risk that in 2050 we will wake up, as a Europe, maybe green, but totally broke and dependent on other continents. So Poland is like, business-wise and like economic-wise, we are very, very rational once again.
That's wonderful, and this is a great segue because that's a story of diversifications.
That's true.
Right, and working with other countries. So now we obviously have got both governments working very closely together. So let's talk a little bit why Canada and why now. I'm gonna start, but I think in general, all the countries, specifically like Poland and Canada, are really prompt and pushed to diversify a little bit farther because of geopolitics, right? Canada for Poland, I'm going to start, could be a great entry to North America with different markets.
Absolutely.
I come very proudly from energy province, Alberta. We have all the energy, most of the oil and gas in Canada, it's based in Alberta. So we do have, someone once showed me the statistic, we have the largest intensity per, I think, kilometer of engineers in North America, in our city of Calgary. I live in Calgary. The Olympics were there very long time ago, but that's really a true engineering city. So technology, engineering, energy, that's what we specialize. Sounds like that's your expertise.
Absolutely.
And sounds that's what Poland might need.
Absolutely, this is something what we need, and what is more crucial, I believe, that we understand that we need that. We know that we never, as a country and as a whole continent, we be fully sovereign, because we don't have enough fuels. We don't have, in the era of globalization, no one is really. But
you don't have what we have, so I
that's
see
true. That's true. We don't have what you have, but we understand that for us, the solution is diversification. In basically on every field. Energy is one of it. I mean, for me, the closest to my heart, and I can talk about it endlessly. But yes, we are extremely open country to acquire knowledge, to acquire technologies. We understand that we need to diversify direction that we are importing from, because this is the only way to not become vendor locked by our by our suppliers. So we do have, so many supports. I mean, tax relief for our investors, other incentives that we implemented. I can speak more.
I would like to hold on a little bit for that, because that's we might talk a little bit more about safe when we get to defense. But if there are any diversification specific, yes. Yeah. And I would like to tell you, just because I'm listening to this diversification story, and again, I live the reality in North America. So Canadian market, 70% of our export goes to United States. That's how well diversified that market is. And I was trying to see how much goes to Poland, and I couldn't really find too much details, very little. Now, the distance, it's a factor, but is it really, right?
Well, in the era of globalization, I mean, it matters less and less. We can see that from the growing export from and import from China. It's also far away, but still we are being flooded with
the cheap goods.
Yes, absolutely. So, Poland, our geography is, it's been, well, we're laughing in Poland that it's a curse and a blessing. It has been a curse throughout ages
and history. Yes,
historically, yes. Those from the east and from the west, very fond of, very interested in this in our territory.
Yeah,
but
we have
now
very good neighbors: Germany on one side, Russia on the other, and
yes.
erasing us from the map for 123 years. So that's pretty interesting history in itself.
But now I believe it's a blessing. We are in the middle of route trades. North to south, east to west. We are eastern flank of NATO. We are the country, and the U.S. military is heavily placed. And, we have an access to the sea. We have LNG terminal. Mm-hmm. We are building our floating terminal. We have this kind of ambition of being a gas hub for the region, and I believe we will soon become one.
I also heard, and I don't want to put you on the spot because I don't know how many details information I have. But I learned today in one of my conversations that Poland is building very modern, new airport.
Yes.
That will be linking, and it's not gonna be an airport. It sounds like it's gonna be a logistic hub.
Yes.
And transportation hub for all the regions, yes, where the railways and other roads will meet. So maybe you can tell me a little bit more.
Yes, it's another project, ongoing project. I was mentioning the north part of Poland when we have an access to the sea, and you can get to the Poland through the sea. But now Central Communication Port, because this is the name, is under construction already. Mm-hmm. So it's another route that will be soon available to potential business and investors. I think it's when it comes to this territory and geography. We can be an open gate to 450 million consumers in
Europe.
European Union, but also we are a very good base for those who are interested in reconstruction of Ukraine.
Oh, let's talk about this because that topic is very hot and a lot of people are obviously interested in supporting and helping Ukraine to rebuild. B, it's an obvious business opportunity. And yes, I agree. Poland, if you look on the map, lies in almost exact center of Europe.
Yes.
And being this natural gateway to Ukraine. So, and I believe also I agree, Poland is very well positioned to support Ukraine. And I think you must have seen a lot of companies starting.
Oh, even my clients.
Okay,
my
so let's talk
clients
about that.
already started.
Let's talk about that.
Can you imagine that, still in Ukraine, the war is there. But I have already my Polish European clients who started to invest in Ukraine. They started their production there. That's
already during the war.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Why would that be?
Well, they see a potential there. They see synergies with Europe, with the production that they already have based here in Poland. So they're just go for it.
I guess first mover advantage. Once you are there on the ground, it's way easier to acquire further contracts, right?
Yes. There is a difference. There is also a difference between Poland and Ukraine in a context that nowadays in Ukraine, it's not a podcast about Ukraine, but I'm going to share that with you.
Sure, please.
But, during the first 2 weeks of war, Ukraine made like a huge deregulation, like the real deregulation. They got rid of 90% of regulations. So, it's very easy nowadays to set up, production there, even at the risk of,
I can
of the
see
war.
That.
So maybe this is that's the tempting factor.
That's very interesting because we're both former government public service servants as deputies. And I always thought that the regulations are there to support the rule of the law, the rules of engagement. But it seems to me sometimes we get into the business too far, because I actually did write an article in Financial Post after I returned from one of the Ukrainian conference when I learned how they develop drones.
Yes, precisely. It's Brave One conference. I do recommend. I went there.
Because I do think that they had to, this was a necessity, this is a wartime, remove all the regulation, and look where they went with their technologies. That's something interesting, and for all other governments to really reflect on, I believe.
Yes, that's that's an example of like a real deregulation, like real doja. We are doing this deregulation also in Poland. By the way, we are very
wonderful.
Yes, we had a very successful deregulation project last year throughout every sectors. We did our best to deregulate whatever we were able to deregulate, and to simplify the law, to simplify, to get rid of investment barriers. It was a huge project, and it was delivered successfully. Still, some part of it's still ongoing, but I believe it will be soon fully completed.
And I'm gonna bring us back again to how can we cooperate. There are some programs, and I stopped you a moment ago, but maybe that's a good point to talk about this. And I know most of the very well-known programs are obviously in defense. While we are sitting in Poland, the war is pretty much on your doorstep.
Next to us.
Yes, exactly.
On
it really feels, you can see military vehicles driving on the Polish roads, whether EU or others.
Hope not.
Hope not. Not too close. But Canada joined SAFE program, which is typically for European countries. And we start almost speaking about different programs and incentives for both countries to work together. I thought that that's a great start for anyone who is interested, but I'm pretty sure there is way more.
Yes, there is way more, because when it comes to safe, defense is very also close to my heart because I come from military family.
Yes, that's different story. Actually, Wanda, I'm okay if you say who was your father, because that relates and that's very important.
Yes, my father was a commander of the land forces, so I come from military environment. I know it from scratch, and this kind of attitude of building resistance, building reliance, building preparedness, I know very, very well. And so, it's like I'm also a member of program board of dual use chamber that was set up, last year. Poland spent almost 5% of GDP on the defense.
We are behind. We are way behind you, unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, not only you. Like few years ago, like Germany were far. Well, still they are still far behind us. But we have this. We know how to look forward, and we want to. We have our. You mentioned over 100 years of non-existence. We want to avoid that in the future. We want to be prepared. As Sun Tzu said,
yes,
if you want to have peace, you need to be prepared for a war. So we are prepared, and we are channeling a lot of money. And this is safe. This is SAFE program that you mentioned. So SAFE program is about financing military, financing. That's the capital available for building this resistance. But we should look wider, more comprehensively at the capital at the capital available in Poland. Because it's not only this. There are many funds, also European funds. We are the biggest recipients in Europe, in European Union
for defense.
Not for defense, in general, for structural and cohesion fund.
Can you tell me a little bit more? I'm actually not familiar with this.
Yes,
I potentially should be.
Over 13% of the whole European cohesion and structural funds is going to Poland. We have, the biggest modernization fund available. Over 70% of the whole funds, European funds dedicated to energy transition, is going to Poland. So we are a huge beneficiary of the supports, and there is a capital available here to be acquired, and to be properly used. SAFE is only one thing,
Wonderful. I feel I will want to explore this another time a little bit deeper, because that's fascinating. But I think this is mostly for the European companies.
No. Okay. It doesn't really matter whether you are from... No. It's okay. What matters is the purpose. And what you are doing here. Well, of course, you cannot be from, you cannot be originally from the regime that we do not accept.
No, yes, I understand.
This is excluded. These are excluded. Canada is not excluded at all. And Canadian companies are
tend
not
to be liked, very well liked.
Yes, you are very well liked, very trustful potential still, because as you said, we don't have strict cooperation yet. But I think it's all ahead of us. We
definitely can learn a lot from you, from Poland, in regards to defense and military, and strengthening that part. And I feel we have a lot to offer in regards to energy. But Wanda, let's talk about practical things.
Yes.
Because you're a lawyer, I'm an economist. I started this company with the single purpose of connecting companies, because everything looks very well on paper, meaning we have the programs, we have the funds, but now how do we access all this? So I'm just going to speak for myself, because I had privilege to attend a lot of conferences nowadays, speaking to the countries of both sides of the oceans, really. And they all tell me the same thing, but how do we start? And I also think that the easiest thing is to find a partner. If you are a Polish company looking into Canada or Canadian company looking into Poland, I do believe sincerely that the most practical approach is to find a credible partner. But the story goes further. Then how do I find this partner? That's precisely why I created Transatlantic Energy Venture to create, and I did, and I have few larger companies that I work with precisely in that subjects, really trying to find the proper fit. But the legal part is very important. The
Always.
landscape, because again, and I am not a lawyer, full disclosure, but I know well that in North America we have common law, which is quite different than the civil law you practice in Europe. And also the country is different. I will let you speak to that.
Okay, so first of all, I do agree with you that having a partner is always helpful. You know, having like local partner can bring you knowledge of the market, of the culture, of the how to navigate through this through the environment, especially in the regulated sectors. It's never like
Oh,
just a
energy.
market.
So
Energy
we
is
tap into something I actually want you to talk about, because I speak about this almost feel on the daily basis. Specifically in energy and defense, what I see here, which is not common in North America, the companies are government owned, or
no, not only, not
but
only.
partially government owned. They are
Yes,
private ones, but there's a
yes.
mixture. In North America, business tends to be business,
Mm-hmm,
privately owned
mm-hmm.
only.
Yes, in Poland, it's different. I mean, we have both. We have completely private companies in every sector, in defense, in the energy, in
Things have changed
telecommunications.
since I lived here quite a
Yes,
bit. Okay.
yes, and we have state-owned companies. For example, let me tell you, energy distribution networks are owned by the state company. But we have they have. I used to work for one of that, so still have some.
Yes, of
That's what I
course.
say. We have, but they have an obligation to guarantee and open access to the network. And for example, when we have both. And of course, you have to know how to navigate in this field, because if you want to be connected, you need to get into some relation with state-owned company on some part of your business. Not necessarily, because you can, for example, trade with energy with no access to any state-owned company. You can you may produce some defense or dual-use products with no cooperation. But of course, you need to have a license. For when it comes to defense, you need to be cleared and verified by the state that if you want to produce something for the for example for the army and sell it to the army. So it's like it's going back to your previous question. Yeah, I think having a knowledge, having local partner, having legal advisor, obviously it's necessary. But what we can also provide with entering to Europe through Poland is the guarantee that actually in other European countries you will see similar reality
Because of European
because
economic zone.
exactly.
That's perfect. And this is very, very good, because how we position really Poland is as a gateway to Europe.
Yes.
Right? So let's close.
And if I may, this
Of course.
gateway, why it's so, from my perspective, it's like it's a very it's a great choice for a gateway. Why? Because still we are innovative country. We are very dynamic. We know how to, we have this. We are very like target oriented. So we do our best to deliver. And we have this kind of internal ambition to deliver.
That's
This is
definitely the
kind of
case.
mindset. This is kind of
Look,
mindset that still
yes.
exists in Poland. And I think that in some European countries, it has been lost on the way. Because, it's like the life there has been always easy. And for us, it has always been a challenge.
That's absolutely correct. And that's why Poland went so far during such a short period of time. And that's not for the first time. So I'm going to reflect on this. Because after the Second World War, and we're sitting in Warsaw, the city was completely destroyed. I don't know if there was one standing building. And I remember at the time the reading, obviously that's a history for me, President of United States says it will take 50 years to rebuild. It didn't. It probably took 20, if that. It's the same with the economic transition. Who would know? I wouldn't, and I'm economist, graduated from the economic school here in 1998, that today, in 2026, Poland will be in the situation. So yes, I would agree with resilience, persistence, however you want to call it. So, Wanda, I don't want to make it too long. So
But there is a saying that Polish person will always find a way. You know the saying, right?
Yes.
Will always find a way. And throughout every bumpy road, we will know how to.
And that's probably very right. No, probably that's right. So let me summarize, and please let me know if I missed something. I really think Poland and Canada are highly complementary partners, number one.
Yes, I believe. You have a lot of that we need. So you have a knowledge.
And you have stuff that we need as well. Your military advancements.
Absolutely.
And strength.
Yes.
Right? And it's very important, I think, we talk about the importance of joint venture and finding the right partner. I almost would call this a shortcut.
You can enter here with some Big Four advisors, and it will take more time and more money. But having local partner, local company, it's like, you have an extremely well access to the knowledge.
And you have advantage.
And you have advantage.
I also believe that in a situation like this, because I've seen it right after the Berlin Wall, like after I departed, and I see who is successful here, I think there is something to say, and I already mentioned first mover advantage, because and we cannot guarantee that the people who come first here, they will generate the most revenue, but I can certainly say that the people who come last will not.
Absolutely.
Right? And also if companies from Canada or other countries from North America are here, they are able to influence, and now I'm thinking more of Ukraine, the standards, the norm being created, to build the partnership that will matter far down the road.
Yeah, well, I cannot deny that. I do agree. I do side with you on this, and it's even from my perspective, it's so obvious that it's so hard even to explain that too, because I find that for everyone it's like it's obvious. So, but it's not in Canada.
There is one more thing. And but because I do believe this matter in Poland more than it might in countries, in certain countries in North America and over American continents. Although it's usually true for most, the relationship matters. The people on the ground who know each other and trust each other and grew up.
So it's not common?
Well, I think...
for me, it's so natural that I find it so common. So
yes. That's interesting because, yes and no. Because in North America, I find you can deal basically alone on the principle. Here in Poland, it really matters, where do you come from? Who are your neighbors? Do I know you? Are you going to deliver?
Can I believe you? Can I believe you?
Exactly. Yes. More so than in other countries.
Okay, now I get it. I honestly got a little bit lost because yes, for me it's so natural that in business it's not only about to make a good business. I'm a businesswoman, and I know that I want to make business with the people that I trust, and I feel that I will never be cheated by. So it's like so I can see even from my own perspective, but also from my clients. They are always very like when you have already this kind of business relation, it can last forever. Really,
Absolutely, and
once
it's
you set it
important.
that up, and you are together on this, maybe in this now it's a bad connotation, but if you are together on a battlefield, you went through something together, you will never get divorced.
So I was jotting some notes as we speak, and I would like to finish summarizing really what we said, and you are welcome to add to it. But I do believe for Canadian firms looking at Poland today, the opportunity is not simple selling products into a new market. It's securing a position in what is becoming one of Europe's most important growth, security, and reconstruction hubs.
Absolutely. We have mm, I don't. We haven't mentioned that during this conversation, but I think it's worth to say. Did you know that Poland is second largest producer of lithium-ion batteries in the
I did
world?
not know that.
Yes, we are right behind China. So when you think about electric vehicles, grids modernization, anything that requires lithium-ion battery, it in Europe, probably it will be produced by Polish producer, but in Poland.
Interesting, very interesting.
Yes,
There's a lot of interest around
yeah.
lithium.
So we are even ahead of US, which is third
I
largest
think so.
producer of lithium-ion batteries, and we have so many this kind of stories that I would love to share. Only recently, I visited lovely company that I did not expect plays such an important role worldwide. It's like Podlasie,
Mm-hmm.
very
Mm-hmm.
lovely part of Poland, but it's like
Yes,
who could expect that
yes,
there is one of this also second largest producer wheels
yes.
for Michelin tires, and this is it's a company located in Podlasie, and you know and it's all because and this kind of stories we have so many in Poland, and this is all because we have this kind of business like approach, and but also strategic advantage as having an access to the sea, having very good logistics. We have 37 million square meters of modern warehouse in Poland. From
Plus the railways,
yeah,
plus the
plus
new
the
hub.
railways, some new port that is under construction. Putting this all together, for my perspective, it's such a great business opportunity.
I would agree. And I feel we need to continue this some other time, maybe not in person, but I had wanted to take
You are
advantage
welcome in
once
Poland
I'm
again.
absolutely, and I will be back very soon.
Yes.
So, Wanda, I just really want to thank you very much for your time, for these conversations. And I will place this podcast in my social media and also on the website, and I will share it with you. So, whoever is interested will know how to find us.
Yes. Thank you very much,
Thank you
Kasia.
very
Thank you
much.
very much.